Imagination is the other Bob Baffert slated to enter the Preakness, and he's one that kind of came on the Derby Trail a little later than Muth and the other West Coast competitors like Stronghold. He's owned by SF Racing, Starlight Racing. It's a big-time syndicate. All of them are clients of Bob Baffert, and of course he's got the Hall of Famer Frankie Dettori aboard, so you really couldn't ask for better connections. Kind of interesting running lines. You see he's had 6 starts, 2 wins and 4 seconds, which is a little unusual for a Bob Baffert, I'd say. Got a runner-up to Stronghold in the Santa Anita Derby, and he won the San Felipe, albeit with a small field. So let's take a look at his pedigree. You can see he's by Into Mischief, and his Damn Magical Feeling by Empire Maker was a black type mare in her own right, and has produced some pretty good which we'll take a look at. See, the dosage profile is 11, and that really just has to do with the lack of stamina influences, and we've rehashed this. Those numbers just aren't as accurate as they used to be, so I wouldn't give it a whole lot of pause. Normally that would be an immediate scratch, but I don't think so in this case. Genetic strength value score is a 52.98, which is pretty good, and I'd imagine it to be one of the higher ones, being by Into Mischief and being along that sireline Stormcat, of course, and Empire Maker on the bottom and Unbridled. So there's plenty of stamina from the male bloodlines. We look here at the Conduit Mare profile, and we do see it favors speed a little bit more than stamina, but Into Mischief with an Empire Maker mare, I'm not really going to worry about that terribly much. I think he'll probably be okay. He's already handled a mile and an eighth pretty well, so I think mile and 3/16 he should be okay. We'll take a look at Into Mischief's and of course you'll see plenty of black type we're familiar with. Authentic, Life is Good, Golden Sense, who just produced on his own the Kentucky Derby winner, Mystic Dan. Audible, Mandaloon, Kentucky Derby winner by disqualification. Pretty Mischievous, the Oaks winner. Practical Joke, Gamine. So he has been one hell of a sire, needless to say. So he's got good bloodlines there. Now, if we take a look at the siblings produced by Magical Feeling, you can see she's done a pretty good job. Exulting was won the Artist Shaler Mile. Magical was a pretty good mare in a cult, with stakes placed in the Acorn and the Mother Goose, and was a pretty good mare on her own. Or a filly. I believe she just became a mare. I'm not sure. Yes. No, she isn't yet. She's still 4. So this is a pretty good mare, and these are some pretty good bloodlines Imagination is dealing with. And so the class, I believe, is there. Now we look at the Equibase, and we'll see that began his career with a couple of seconds at Del Mar, and then sort of put it into high gear to start his 3-year-old campaign, winning on New Year's Day. And you do see for 3 straight races he was progressing nicely, 94, 101, 104. I would say that, as we know with California, sorry California, but the class level isn't the greatest, and it seemed like their 2-year-old and 3-year-old crops were basically non-existent. Aside from Bob Baffert's horses. So I don't know how much stock we can take in those numbers. The Santa Anita Derby, he did put up a good fight against Stronghold, but was not able to close the deal. But he did show some tenacity battling all the way across. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a look at the San Felipe first. I don't know how much we're going to get out of it. It's only a 4-horse field. And then we'll take a look at the Santa Anita Derby. So here's the San Felipe, and you can see this was a diminished field by scratches, and Imagination is in the 5 hole.
We're in the gate. And they're off to the
good
DK
beginning.
Horse San Felipe Stakes.
Pretty solid.
Wind me up, sprints out of the gate. and takes command at once. Imagination, Scatify is keen in the opening furlong, and McVeigh is at the back of a very compact field.
So you
that
got a
goes
couple
into
of
the first
Bafferts
turn.
in here with
And it's
Wind Me Up and
lots of trouble for Scatify, who's extremely
Imagination
difficult to
and
handle. And it will be
Scatify
Wind Me
kind
Up
of
to set the pace.
was at the 4. McVeigh blew the
in
turn
second,
completely.
And a headstrong Scatify is just behind them, still steadying in third.
Big horse,
McVeigh
too.
is just outside of him with 5.5
McVeigh,
furlongs to go.
They see
Wind
just
Me Up
rating
leads
off of
by a
Wind Me
half
Up
length to Imagination.
and just
McVeigh
deciding to
takes
take
the
command a
third
little
spot
earlier than
on
usual.
the outside of Scatify. Frankie Dettori lets Imagination go now, and Imagination
wide.
opens up a length while racing well off the rail, heading to the half-mile
It's kind of
pole.
interesting.
Wind Me Up at the rail.
But he
in
hasn't
second.
cleared Wind Me Up
McVeigh
yet, so I guess he
and
really
Scatify.
can't. But
Less than
23
a
and
half mile to
47,
go
I'd
in
say,
the
is
DK
about
horse,
average for
San
Santa
Felipe
Anita.
Stakes. Imagination, Wind Me Up
You see
coming
Wind
back
Me
for
Up
more.
re-rallying a
These
little
two
bit to
pass
make
the
it
3/8
interesting.
pole, heads apart. 3 lengths back to McVeigh, and Scatify is now far back. Wind Me Up and Imagination.
So it's a two-horse race, and not surprising with only 4
coming
in
to the
it.
quarter pole. McVeigh 4 lengths back in third. They turn for home. Imagination and Wind Me Up. Imagination just in front. Wind Me Up battling bravely at the rail. It's
And so these had
Imagination
a
with
couple
narrow
of duels
lead
in a
with
row,
furlong
and
left
this
to
one
go.
he was pretty
Wind
game
Me
to
Up,
stick
though,
in there.
is
Wind Me
very
Up
tough. Here
did
comes
okay
Wind
at
Me
2
Up
and
on
was
the
a
inside.
he's a halfway
Under
decent
Juan
3-year-old.
Hernandez. Wind Me Up, Imagination in a DK
Showed some
horse,
grit.
San
You gotta
Felipe
like that.
thriller.
Just
Photo
hung on to get
finish.
up there.
Imagination
But
and
again,
Wind
4-horse
Me Up.
field,
They
comp
raced
level, hard to
virtually
tell
as a
what to
team
make of it.
throughout, and they finished noses apart.
So here's the Santa Anita Derby, and we've got Imagination and Stronghold will be duking it out in this one. And let's see what happened. We've got more horses in the field this time, and you got Imagination out in the 7 hole.
EJ won the cup. Imagination broke beautifully in between them and puts his head in
Oh, I
front.
apologize. He's in
Now
4th,
Chapelo
number
rushes
4.
up along the
Sorry about
inside
that.
to engage Imagination.
Jay Silk's
Just
on me.
behind them, Woodstock 5th through the opening furlong. Tesudo outside Curlin's Chaos. McVeigh 3 wide and last. Tapalo will be the pace setter. Opens up 2 on Imagination's second.
You see
EJ won the
Imagination
cup
still
in the center
wide
track.
as he was in the
Between
San
rivals,
Felipe,
Stronghold and Curlin's Chaos is down on
but
the
in
rail.
really good
Woodstock
position.
has 5 legs to make
No
up.
excuses really
McVeigh
whatsoever.
is next. Having a little bit of a difficult time is McVeigh. And another 2 back to Tesudo. They move on to the backstretch, and it's Tapalo. And
Oh, that
Umberto
McVeigh is
Rispoli
just a handful
setting the tempo.
on the way back
Imagination
there.
gliding up to him in second, and EJ won the cup, is 3 wide in third. Another
So
3 back to
Imagination, he's in
Stronghold,
perfect
patiently
position
handled
here,
fourth, 3.5
and
lengths off the pace
again,
at
no
this
excuses.
stage.
He just
Windstock is fifth past the
from where he
half-mile
is, he
pole.
should win this race. You
Curlin's
see, he was
Chaos down
a
at
little
the
quicker
rail.
than the San
two
Felipe,
trailers are
46 and
Tesudo
3
and
at the
McVeigh.
half.
Heading to the 3/8 pole, Tapalo, Imagination yet to be called on, a length and a half back second. Stronghold awaiting racing room. He's just inside. EJ won the cup.
110 and 4. That's probably about average for Santa Anita, maybe a little on the quick side. But here comes Stronghold. And you see Imagination's making his move, but EJ won the cup, the long shot. He was equal to the task as well.
Stronghold won from the outside. A driving finish. Stronghold bursts through between horses and is up to take the lead at the furlong.
Now, I didn't like that right there at the top there. It kind of looked like Imagination was sort of waiting for a horse to confront him before he engaged. Tiny little thing, but you see he was game in the stretch and just missed. Sorry, Bob, can't win them all. But I don't know. Pretty game effort, and he's at least that. But judging by what Stronghold did in the Derby, probably not fast enough. We'll see. So as we do with all our contender profiles, we'll take a look at the issues and concerns for Imagination. Competition, I think you'd have to say, is a pretty big issue. Who has he faced? You know, Stronghold ran a pretty good Derby, I'd say, but he clearly wasn't fast enough, and Imagination couldn't beat him. So 4-horse fields and a lack of real solid stakes level contenders out in California makes it kind of tough to like him because he really hasn't faced anybody. Maybe he can raise his game. Shipping, usually not a problem with Bob Baffert's horses, but he's never been away from the West Coast, so first time for everything. We'll just see how he handles it. And then finally, the race shape. More than anything else, I think speed is the biggest problem, and keeping up. If the pace is a little aggressive early, it might really impede his chances because I'm not sure he has the speed to hang with the better East Coast 3-year-olds. So race shape, really, you could also substitute speed in there. He just seems like a cut below. I can't, just that's what it seems like to me. I think he has the class. I think he has the ability to compete. I just kind of think he's going to be like Stronghold, maybe make a pretty good effort, but end up maybe in the second tier of the race. We'll see how many entrants there are, but Imagination to me is a middling kind of player. Maybe you look at for the bottom of the exotics, but with Bob Baffert training him, of course, we know that we pay a tax on the odds. So we'll just have to see what happens, and we'll see if he runs at all. Still don't know about that, but Imagination is a fairly interesting horse. It has some things, I think, going for him. But to me, the big issue, speed.